This is a new Solidoodle 4 showing that the build plate is warped in the center. You can see Z-axis right now is at 0.1. I'm going to home to Z. Brand new sheet of paper. Slides right through just fine. I'm right over one of the adjusting rods. And I'm going to check to make sure that this plate is level. Dropping the Z-axis by 0.1. Traveling to the next area. Next adjusting rod. Homing Z. Piece of paper goes just fine. No problem. Dropping down by 0.1. Clear the plate. And go into the back. The last adjusting rod. Homing Z. Sheet of paper goes out just fine. It's clear. See, the Z-axis is at 0. Now I'm going to have to drop down the Z by 1 so I don't strike the build plate in the center. And then we'll go right to the center of the build plate. Roughly. It's a good spot right there. You can see I'm at Z-axis 1. I'm going to home Z. And let's see it strike. Now luckily, these are on springs, so the bed doesn't really get damaged, but you can see that there's no movement. My Z-axis is at 0. I'll drop it down by 0.1. No movement. Dropping the Z-axis by another 0.1, going down to 0.2. No movement. Dropping the Z-axis down by another 0.1, down to 0.3. No movement. One more time. Dropping the Z-axis by 0.1, down to 0.4. Slight. Can barely get it in by 0.4. Now let's try by 0.5. And it should go through. Now this verifies that the build plate is warped by about 0.4 millimeters, which leads to a lot of failed prints, especially when on the first layer. Now we'll just re-verify. I'll home to Z, goes to 0. Nothing. I'm going to drop down back to back 1, and I'll go back to the rods. Make sure I'm clear again. Homing Z. Clears just fine. And for due diligence, we'll go back. We'll drop down by 0.1 so we don't strike the plate. We'll go back to the original locations. I know this is a long video, but to be thorough and hopefully get this situation rectified by Solidoodle, and make sure that there's no argument that this plate is not just warped. Homing Z. Just fine. Last one. Dropping down by 0.1. About 1. So it's just fine. Alright. That is verification that the Solidoodle 4, right out of the box, is showing a warped build plate. Now, I am pretty happy with Solidoodle, unfortunately, except for a few of those items, so I hope they can rectify them so all of us can continue on printing happily. Thank you.